Hello, my name is Becky Davenport and I'm with the Aegis Professional Consulting Group. We're here today to talk about the customer decision-making process, something that is near and dear to all of our hearts, as we want the customers to make decisions in our favor when they buy a product or a service. In order to better understand the customer decision-making process, we first need to really know our target market. How do we define our target market? There's a number of different attributes that we can use to slice and dice and clearly identify who is our primary customer. We can look at things such as demographics, age, location, gender, income level, education, marital or family status, occupation and ethnic background. We can look at psychographics, personalities, attitudes, values, interests and hobbies, and lifestyles. We can also look at behavioral attributes, things such as occasion or loyalty. Occasions may be a birthday, an anniversary, a wedding. Customers may behave differently on those specific and special events. Loyalty, we're very familiar with loyalty cards, whether it's buy 10 cups of coffee at the local coffee shop and get the 11th free, frequent flyer miles, one of the first in most well-known loyalty programs, or that proverbial baker's dozen donuts. Geographics can also play into defining our target market, whether they are urban customers, suburban customers, rural customers. They're in the U.S., they're global, a lot of different ways that we can better understand and identify our target market simply by geographics. Once we understand who our customer is, we can start to get into their brain and think about how they make a customer buying decision. There's a lot of different attributes that come into play, and they will vary from decision to decision and from target market to target market. Some common attributes include price, quality, and sometimes price and quality come together for that value proposition, location, uniqueness, dependability, could be status, a lot of different buying criteria that a customer can identify that they use in determining how they are going to spend their dollars. Now we want to talk about how we can go about really identifying and understanding what these buying criteria are in a specific situation. In order to do that, we want to use some proven research methodologies. These are systematic ways to better understand and identify what's really going on in our customer's mind, how they're going through that buying process, making those decisions. And given the fact that it's in their brain mostly, we've really got to use often a variety of methods in order to clearly identify all the things that are going on, and often at the same time. Often it's a simultaneous kind of decision-making process. There are two basic kinds of research: primary research and secondary research. Primary research is exactly what it says. It's something that we design, we go out and do. Kind of three ways to gather that: focus groups, interviews, and surveys. I'm going to come back and talk about that in just a minute, because really secondary research you would do first. Secondary research is looking at the existing body of research that other people have done for either a specific situation or for general market information. Given the accessibility and the enormous volumes of information that are on the internet these days, secondary research is very accessible and very affordable. Most of the time it's free. There are some research studies that there may be fees associated with, or some of the products and services, but for the most part we can gather tons and tons of information just by searching the internet. Primary research, we really are going to design our own research study. It's going to start by identifying the goals and objectives of our research project, creating questions, and then designing the quote delivery mechanism. Focus groups are small groups of people that we would bring together that were in our target audience. We may show them a product, explain a service, and have them discuss a set series of questions that give us insight into their, in this particular situation, their buying decision process. Interviews are one-on-one, so focus group is sort of a group, many people discussing it at one time. An interview is that one-on-one situation. It could be in person or it could be over the phone. It may be that survey taker that's at the mall when you come out of the restaurant, or someone that approaches you on a telephone call, that dreaded telephone call on Thursday night when you really don't want to talk to them. I always try to remember that this is the kind of information that I often want to gather and try to take the time to do that. But that's the two ways that one-on-one conversation usually takes place. Surveys are a way for you, again, to reach many people, very cost-effective in terms of the cost per survey. There are a number of tools that are available. And this is just 3 examples, tools such as SurveyMonkey, Zoomerang, and Object Planet. You can use these tools to administer a survey to people that you know within your target market. It may be email addresses that you have gathered and then you can reach out to, or many of these tools will enable you to actually purchase a list of recipients that fit your target market. So you could define your target market as young professional working women in New York City between the ages of 22 and 35 and send a survey to that particular target market. Great way to really zoom in and get information that's very relevant to your market and your product or service. We can then use this information to start to construct our customer decision-making process model. And in this specific scenario, we're going to pretend that we are a family of 4 and it's Friday night. My partner and I have been working all week and we have 2 young children. We want to go out for a family dinner, taking into consideration it's Friday night, we're tired, we just commuted home, and it's important to us that it's a nice family time, but it's not a special occasion. It's some combination of trying to get everybody fed and having, a little bit of family connection time at the end of a busy week. Given that that's kind of my objective, my family's objective, we've identified 4 options for the meal. To go to our neighborhood Italian restaurant, or to visit one of these chains that are also reasonably close to our neighborhood, or in our neighborhood, Red Lobster, Olive Garden, and Chipotle. The 5 criteria that we're making our decision on include price, quality, waiting time, travel time, and ambiance. Price is still important to me. I'm a working family on a budget. Quality, it's been a long week. I still want to have a nice time. Same thing with ambiance. So I've got quality and ambiance, 20 and 20. So looking for some good food and looking for a pleasant environment. Waiting time, 20%. I've got the kids with me. They don't have a lot of patience, and I don't have a lot of patience when they're not being patient. So that's important to me as well. Travel time was my highest because it's Friday night. It was an ugly commute home, and I don't want to get back in the car. So very important to me there as well. What I do then is rate these on the scale of 1 to 10 for each of these criteria. For example, waiting time at my neighborhood Italian restaurant. From 1 to 10, Chipotle is going to have the fastest service. The waiting time will be the least, so it received the highest ranking. On ambiance, Chipotle was at the bottom of my ranking set, because there's not a lot of ambiance, where the neighborhood Italian offers sort of a neighborhood, family kind of environment. I'm then going to take those relative rankings and my relative weights, which added up to 100%, multiply them times each other to get a relative ranking for each of my options, the 4 restaurants that are in my decision-making set. Price, quality, waiting time, travel time, and ambience, again, are my criteria. I sum the relative weights for each of those and come up with a total, a relative weighted ranking. And if I look at these, the winner, and my choice for Friday night, is going to be the neighborhood Italian restaurant with a 5.8 weighting. Red Lobster and Chipotle were fairly even, and Olive Garden was really the number 2 spot. So my family and I will be off to the neighborhood Italian restaurant tonight for some good food, nice ambiance, very much in my neighborhood, so not a lot of travel time, okay on the waiting time, and again, comparable in the price. So when I put all these together, which is what I was doing in my brain, not on my Excel spreadsheet or a piece of paper, I hope, this is how I would come to the decision. Now that we have a better understanding of the customer decision-making process, we want to think about what we really can do with this information. Ideally, it really helps us better understand how our customers are evaluating our services or products, what's driving them to make decisions, what's important to them, and what's not important to them. It lets us better understand and validate our value proposition. It tells us what we can do to retain our customer base and attract new customers. If wait time is 40% of our customers' decision-making process, we want to ensure that we are very attentive to that and we are doing everything we can to minimize wait time, whether that's having them call ahead for reservations, whether that's having our carry-out customers use online ordering and a separate kind of pickup space or pickup venue, just thinking about how we can ensure that the wait time is minimized. We also want to carefully look at not only our scores, but our competitors' scores, where they higher or lower on what we think is important to our target market, and continuing to be aware of what's changing in the marketplace. There are always new competitors, there are always new products and services, and we want to understand how our customers' competitive set is changing and how we are moving, because it's always a moving target. We are moving within that decision-making process. Thanks very much for having this discussion with me today on the customer decision-making process. I would welcome the opportunity to talk with you more about this or business and strategic planning in general. You can reach me at Aegis via my email address, bdavenport@aegisps.com, or on 313-318-9130. Thanks very much for your time today. Bye-bye.